So I remember posting on Instagram recently something that you gave me a lot of praise for, and it was generational wealth starts with one risk taker.
Mhm.
And I wanted to know, like, why does this quote resonate with you so much?
Uh, well, it's always exciting when you see a picture of a famous soccer player and an inspirational quote. I
Yeah,
mean, you
yeah,
could have put Ronaldo there, and it could have been a Rumi quote, and people would have liked it.
yeah, for sure.
But the quote itself resonates with me because it's how I approach um, life. And I mean, I'm not a super capitalist per se, but I am trying to um, generate and accumulate assets for my family and the future, right?
Yeah,
So I mean, it's it's usually with successful families, or let's take film for example. Like I mean, the Coppolas, whoever it is, right? There's someone who took the risk or takes the risks in order to accumulate generational assets. And to me, generational assets are like generational wealth are like assets like homes and investment. But more importantly for me, everyone is different, but for me, it's knowledge. So,
same.
I mean, I have a kid, he's 6 years old, right? Like, so for
Nice.
me, if I
Mhm.
can, if I can pass on knowledge and exposure, like he's very creative. He's like 6 years old. He makes his own animations and he watches what I do with film, and he's like a sponge and he's absorbing it all the time. And it's the risks that I'm taking in order to build generational wealth that values him, right? So not only is he going to one day benefit, should I be successful, he's not only going to benefit from the financial wealth or the financial assets, and but also
Yeah,
the knowledge and the exposure. I think it's very important. No one in my family is in the film industry, and
yeah,
it's
same.
like really it's like trial and error for me. I'm
Yeah,
the risk
yeah,
taker. I'm
yeah,
going, and so are you. I'm going out, I'm finding the knowledge, I'm trying to figure out how it works, I'm being entrepreneurial, right? And then um it's we are the risk takers that ultimately build the infrastructure for the future, whether it's your sisters and brothers, your cousins, your nieces and nephews. I have other family members that see what I'm doing in film. um, or I work in advertising as well, so I work on a lot of commercials. I produce and direct commercials as well, and
nice.
seeing what I'm doing, and then people are approaching me and my family, and then how do we get into that? That looks like a lot of fun. I'd
Right.
love to learn how to do that more, and then being able to pass that on. That's, to me, is a form of generational wealth. And I think it resonates with me because it's usually one person that starts to carve out that roadmap for that process for your family and friends.
Yeah, no, 100%, and that's why I asked you this, because I know we're on the same wavelength. Like you understand this notion of generational wealth and that whole concept of risk taking, and that's how I see myself, right? With regards to filmmaking, is I'm only doing, like, I know we live in a world and we get older and it's kind of ignorant to say, because especially I'm turning 27 soon, but I've
Mhm.
only been after this because of the value, the knowledge, and the love for the craft, right? Like,
Yeah.
the money, yeah, is a bonus. It's a huge perk. I don't want to be living on the streets, but at the end of the day, I'd rather be making money off of something that I can be proud of, right? Or that brings me happiness. And not a lot
Right.
of people can say that for themselves. So I also realize, how difficult the situation can be, right?
Mhm.
How fortunate you can be if you end up in that spot. But you said it right there, like, you're after knowledge and value, right?
Mhm.
And if you look at, like, any of the people we were just referring to, like the filmmakers, yeah, it's a given they're going to leave behind a certain amount of wealth,
Yeah.
but it's also like that legacy, right? That the fact that, the kid, right? Like Tarantino's having a kid, that kid, whatever he decides to do, you know, it'll help them. I know people will say, like, oh, it must be nice, but it is nice. Like, let's
Yeah.
be honest, that's human nature. People will look at him or her, whoever, whatever kid he has, and say, wow, you're Tarantino's, child. You might have something that you can do, and that's that value, that because he took that risk, that now the generations after that, if they keep it, right, they
Yeah.
retain that dignity, that legacy,
Yeah.
they'll be able to keep passing on. So I think that's a noble cause, man. I think that's really cool, that what you're doing for your kid.
Yeah. Everybody wants to see everybody wants to see their family and friends. Not everybody, but it's great to be. Let me
No,
rephrase
I
that.
like how you caught
It's
yourself. Yeah.
it's wonderful to be able to want your family and friends and strangers to be successful. Not
Yeah.
everybody wants that, right? But
Yeah.
it's ambitious and idealistic of me to say that, yeah, I want my family and friends, I want everyone to be successful, and if I can help them by giving them exposure. It's not to say that Tarantino's kid's gonna have whatever he wants. He's born with a silver spoon in his mouth, because some people will think that it's not about, that's a balance between them and their parenting,
Yeah.
right? But being
Yeah.
able, everybody wants the opportunity to give exposure to their kids, for example, right? Your
Yeah.
Tarantino's kid may not want to be a director or an actor or do anything actually in the film industry. He may want to be a doctor,
Yeah.
but he may have the resources and the
Yeah.
contacts in order to guide and coordinate, the growth of his kid so that he can pursue his dreams
And
or
at the
her
very
dreams.
least, the money to go to school, right? He has that money
Yeah,
that
yeah,
he
yeah.
won't be in debt. Again, he might say that's my money, don't touch it. But in a nice world, Tarantino will hopefully give him some money, right, to inherit, and yeah, he can use it for a good cause. And I think
Yeah,
that's the so important with the generational wealth. And it's a
yeah.
lot of, and it's a concept people just, I get it, like they don't, people have to work and whatever, but I really do believe that. If you don't find a way, or if you don't at least give it a shot, like moving out of that conventional path, you'll never see like another opportunity or something, or a true
Mhm.
potential that you might possess.